statement and figuring out the theme of the book that you were working with or the text that you were working with, you can start writing your essay. If we skip down to number 5 here, number 5, write your outline. I'm going to show you a sample overview outline. After you've written your outline, then you want to write your introduction. This outline helps you to write your essay and keep it organized and keep it focused, which is one of the areas on the rubric that your teachers will be looking for. So here's an overview. You always want to start with an introduction. Your second, third, and fourth body paragraphs are going to focus on one literary element each, and you're going to provide textual evidence for that literary element and how it supports your central theme or your thematic statement. Then your last paragraph will be your conclusion. Now I'm going to show you how to write an introduction for your thematic essay. The first thing that you need to do is to make a broad statement about your subject. Going back to using loneliness from Of Mice and Men, I don't want to mention the author or the title of the book or my theme, my thematic statement in the first sentence. It's giving away way too much. You always want to start out broad. It's a topic sentence, so we're introducing our reader to the subject or the topic. So here's my example. Loneliness is something that all humans can relate to. You can also pull in a quote from somebody famous. If you Google quotes on loneliness or something like that, you can also use a quote to start your essay with. The second thing you need to do is ask yourself, what are some examples of how loneliness is something that all humans can relate to, or how can I further explain and elaborate on my first sentence? What is important about the subject to humankind or to the subject itself? So whenever I'm writing the next 2 or 3 sentences, those are the questions I ask myself. Here's an example. All human beings want in life is to have companionship. Loneliness can make one feel like others do not care about them, and this is our biggest fear. It is important to have companionship to give one a sense of belonging. So number 1, the bold sentence, loneliness is something that all humans can relate to, and then I move into elaborating and giving examples and telling why loneliness is so important to humans in that number 2. So then that would be put together. Number 3, we're going to make a brief connection to the book, author, and either the plot or the characters. Here's my example. Again, 1, 2, and 3 would all be in the same introduction. This can certainly be seen in the novel Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. All the major characters suffer from loneliness and do their best to flee from it. So I've made a brief connection. I have not given any details, I've not given any textual evidence, and I have not made an argument yet. That comes last. Your argument comes last, and that is your thesis or your thematic statement. I'm using those terms interchangeably. So number 4, the last sentence of your introduction is your thematic statement. Therefore, the central theme, made a little mistake there. The central theme of Mice and Men is that loneliness drives people to search for companionship in unlikely ways. That's my controlling idea. Whenever you see a Regents exam and it says controlling idea, that's a thematic statement. Therefore, the central theme of Mice and Men is that loneliness drives people to search for companionship in unlikely ways. So when you look at number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, that would all be put together in one paragraph. I've separated it out for you so that you can see the steps that I've taken, but again, it would be all one paragraph. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to write the body paragraph. Writing an essay can be very mathematical. If you have the structure, if you have the formula, then you can put together a well-organized, focused, and well thought out essay. So the body paragraph is going to again focus on one literary device or element. Your first sentence should have the literary device mentioned, the author, and a connection to the theme. So in this paragraph, I'm going to be talking about characterization. After you write a topic sentence for that paragraph with the literary device, the author, and the theme, the next sentence that comes are examples from the book. They're actual overall examples. They're mentions, their actions, their plot summary part. Okay, they're examples. B, you want to give more specific details, and if you have the text in front of you to prepare, use a quotation that demonstrates your example or further explain it. Definitely want to get into the nitty-gritty, the very small details to prove that this is the central theme. Letter C. After you have given examples and maybe a quotation and some very specific details, then you want to explain the quote or the details and give any necessary background. Talk about any underlying meaning that might be there, and I'll show you an example in a few minutes. Letter D, you always want to relate your examples back to your thematic statement. Explain how these examples relate to the thematic statement. How are these supporting your argument for that central theme? And make sure you explain that thoroughly. Don't just say this relates to the theme. Explain how. Here's an example of a body paragraph, and I've labeled the parts for you that relate back to this outline for a body paragraph. So if you see Roman numeral 2, it says Roman numeral 1 here, but same idea. Here's my topic sentence. One literary device that Steinbeck uses to develop the theme that hopes and dreams can bring people together in unlikely ways is characterization. I've kind of switched my theme, giving you an example of a different theme. That's okay. Hopes and dreams can bring people together is my theme in this paragraph. In chapter 4, so letter A, go back, I'm giving examples from the book. In chapter 4, the reader learns a lot about Crooks. Steinbeck characterizes him as being an aloof, proud, and educated man. He is ostracized from society due to his skin color, and that causes him to be distant, and in fact he demands his distance from others. When he realizes that the dream Candy describes can come true, he offers himself to be a part of it. So here I'm giving specific details, things that I could pull right off of a page. Letter B, if you have the text as you are preparing, here is a quote. He says, Crook says, if you guys want a hand to work for nothing, just as keep, why come lend a hand? And now C, I'm explaining it. Going back, C, I'm explaining it and giving any necessary background or underlying meaning. Moments ago, so I'm giving background here, he was scornful toward the idea and he had never seen someone accomplish it before. Letter D, I'm going to relate these examples back to my thematic statement. Now he offers to work for free because he so badly wants to be a part of the dream. This goes back to how hopes and dreams can bring people together. The dream for him as a black man would mean companionship and freedom. And now I'm relating it into deeper meaning. I'm getting into the deepness of what Crooks really wants in life here, neither of which he has at this time. It gives him a sense of hope and brings Crooks and Candy together. In fact, this causes them to unite together and stand up to Curly's wife. So now I'm giving even more of an analysis. The dream of being free unites Crooks, Candy, and Lenny, and they briefly become unlikely friends. So I've pulled it all together, I've analyzed it, I've given the deeper meaning, and I've pretty much pointed all the way back to my thematic statement. And this is why, without saying this is why, but this is why all of these details and examples prove that this is the central theme.